Episode 5 begins with a sense of quiet across the ranch, a rare, comforting silence that almost feels too good to be true. The early morning sun spills across the fields, horses graze peacefully, and Amy finally allows herself a moment to breathe. But anyone who knows Heartland knows this peace never lasts long. There's always something simmering beneath the surface, waiting to shake things up.
Amy has been focusing on recovery, both her own and the horses. The events of the last few episodes have taken a toll on her confidence. The rumors, the accusations, and the pressure of rebuilding her reputation as a trainer have left deep marks. Still, she's determined to keep moving forward. Working with Tia Miller's horses gives her a sense of purpose again, and this time she's ready to prove herself not to others, but to herself. Meanwhile, Lou is back in her element, juggling responsibilities between being the mayor and trying to keep the ranch organized. But behind that confident smile, she's struggling to balance everything. The town council is pressuring her about new development projects, and Peter's sudden reappearance at the ranch is bringing back memories she thought she'd buried. The spark between them still lingers, faint but warm, like an ember refusing to die out. Yet Lou knows that rekindling old flames is never simple. Over at the barn, Jack watches the day unfold with quiet wisdom. He can sense that change is in the air. His years at Heartland have taught him that whenever things seem too perfect, something unexpected is bound to happen. And he's right, because that morning, a black SUV pulls up to the ranch gates, an unfamiliar sight in the middle of Hudson. Out steps a woman in her 40s, wearing dark glasses and carrying a folder marked Confidential. She asks for Amy Fleming by name. Amy, surprised, welcomes her into the office. The woman introduces herself as Clara Benson, a representative from the Canadian Equestrian Federation. She tells Amy that one of her old horses, Phoenix, has been registered in an upcoming international event under a different owner's name. Amy's heart skips a beat. How is that possible? Phoenix hasn't been seen or ridden in months. Amy sold him years ago to a trusted family who promised to give him a peaceful retirement. Something doesn't add up. Clara explains that the horse was recently entered into a high-stakes competition under suspicious circumstances. The new owner refuses to share the animal's medical history and has falsified documents claiming the horse's past injuries never existed. Amy immediately knows something is wrong. The moment she hears the description, chestnut coat, white blaze, the same temperament, she knows it's him. Phoenix, her old companion, the horse that helped her heal from Ty's death. Amy feels an ache she hasn't felt in years. That horse wasn't just part of her career, it was part of her heart. The thought of someone exploiting him for fame or money ignites a fire inside her. Clara warns her to stay out of it for now, saying the matter is under investigation. But Amy can't just let it go. Heartland has always been about doing what's right, even when it's difficult. Later that afternoon, Amy tells Jack about the situation. He listens quietly, his eyes narrowing with concern. If Phoenix is in trouble, he says firmly, we bring him home. Amy nods, but deep down, she knows it won't be that easy. Whoever has Phoenix now isn't going to give him up without a fight. And if the Federation is already involved, it means the stakes are much higher than she imagined. Meanwhile, at Katie's school, a new friendship begins to form. After her recent night out, Katie feels more confident, ready to explore who she is beyond being Lou's daughter. Her instant camera has become her silent companion, a way to capture moments that words can't explain. She starts taking candid photos of her classmates, and one particular picture catches her attention. In the background of one shot, she notices a familiar face. Dex, the new ranch hand Jack hired, standing with someone she doesn't recognize. The person looks older, and their posture feels suspicious. Katie brushes it off at first, thinking it's just a coincidence. But little does she know that photo will soon become the key to uncovering a much bigger mystery. Back at the ranch, Nathan is helping Amy prepare for the next training session. The chemistry between them is undeniable, though neither wants to admit it yet. Nathan, still haunted by his past and trying to find his place at Heartland, feels drawn to Amy's resilience. And Amy, though cautious, feels a strange comfort in his presence. He reminds her that life can still surprise you in good ways, even after loss. As they work, Amy receives a phone call that freezes her mid-step. The voice on the other end is unfamiliar, but chillingly calm. "If you care about your horse," the caller says, "you'll stop asking questions." Before Amy can respond, the line goes dead. She looks at Nathan, her eyes wide with shock. "Someone doesn't want me to find Phoenix," she whispers. Nathan immediately senses danger, but Amy refuses to back down. She's been through worse. She's fought harder battles, but this one feels personal, because it's not just about a horse. It's about loyalty, love, and doing what's right, no matter the cost. The wind picks up outside as dark clouds gather over the ranch, the once peaceful morning now heavy with tension. Jack steps out onto the porch, looking toward the horizon. The sky is turning gray, and he mutters under his breath, "There's another storm coming." The next day dawns quietly, but the calm feels deceptive, like the air before lightning strikes. Amy can't stop thinking about that call. Who could know about Phoenix, and why warn her to stop digging? Every instinct in her tells her something bigger is going on, something beyond a horse being mistreated. Jack notices the worry written all over Amy's face during breakfast. He doesn't push her, but his silence speaks volumes. He's seen that look before, the same one Marion used to get when something didn't sit right. Finally, he sets his coffee mug down and says, "If you think Phoenix needs you, then don't wait for someone else to do what's right." Amy nods. That's all she needed to hear. Later that day, she drives to Hudson's small-town records office to dig through the paperwork Clara gave her. She finds that the new owner's name listed for Phoenix is Evan Ross, a name she doesn't recognize. According to the documents, he's a competitive trainer from Calgary with a spotless record. But there's something odd. His address doesn't exist. The number on the form leads to a disconnected line. Amy frowns. Whoever Evan Ross is, he's hiding behind someone else's identity. Meanwhile, Lou has problems of her own. Her phone keeps buzzing with calls from investors pushing her to approve a development deal that would expand Hudson's outskirts. The plan looks profitable, but Jack hates it. He says it'll destroy valuable farmland and the peaceful landscape that defines their community. Lou is torn. She knows she has a responsibility to the town, but the idea of going against Jack's wishes feels like betraying family. As Lou debates the issue, Peter shows up unexpectedly at Maggie's. The conversation starts polite, but quickly turns into something heavier. He reminds her that the choices she makes now could affect Heartland's future and their daughters. Lou sighs, realizing that no matter how much time passes, Peter still has a way of making her question herself. There's a softness between them again, the kind that never really goes away. Back at the ranch, Amy begins to notice strange things. The barn doors, which she always locks, are found open, Tools are moved around. One morning, she finds tire tracks near the pasture where there shouldn't be any. At first, she assumes it's a ranch hand forgetting something. But then she spots a small metal tag in the grass. When she picks it up, her heart sinks. It's a competition tag from an equestrian event, engraved with the name Phoenix Rising. She shows it to Nathan, who immediately offers to help her track down where it came from. Together, they look up recent competitions and find that one matching the tag took place in Calgary only a week ago. That means Phoenix really was there. Amy feels a mix of relief and anger. Relief that he's alive, anger that he's being exploited. Nathan suggests they drive out there to ask questions, but Amy hesitates. Clara told her not to interfere while the investigation is ongoing. Still, doing nothing has never been Amy's way. She agrees to go, but only quietly, just to observe. As night falls, Amy prepares for the trip, unaware that someone is already watching her. A car is parked just beyond the trees, headlights off, engine silent. Inside, a man in a baseball cap scrolls through photos on his phone, pictures of Amy at the ranch. He makes a quick call. "She's getting involved," he says in a low voice. "We might need to deal with this sooner than planned." The next morning, Amy and Nathan hit the road before sunrise. The highway stretches endlessly ahead, the golden light of dawn cutting through the fog. Nathan tries to lighten the mood with small talk, but Amy stays quiet, lost in thought. When they finally arrive at the Calgary training facility, she feels a pang of nostalgia. It reminds her of the early days with Ty, when they'd traveled to horse events together. The facility manager, a stern woman named Marjorie, greets them coldly. Amy introduces herself, explaining that she's looking for a horse once named Phoenix. Marjorie's face tightens. "We don't disclose owner information," she says sharply. "You'll have to contact the Federation." Amy presses gently, saying she's not trying to interfere, only to make sure the horse is safe. After a pause, Marjorie sighs. "Look," she says quietly, "you didn't hear it from me, but that horse shouldn't be here. He's been overworked, injured more than once, but his owner keeps pushing him into competitions. It's cruel." Amy's chest tightens. That confirms everything she feared. Before she can ask more, Marjorie excuses herself and disappears into the stables. Amy looks around, her eyes scanning each horse, until she sees a chestnut gelding with a familiar white blaze. For a moment, the world stops. It's him, Phoenix. Amy whispers his name softly, and the horse lifts his head, ears flicking toward her voice. Their eyes meet, and in that instant, all the memories come rushing back. The rides, the training, the bond that could never truly be broken. But just as Amy takes a step closer, a man appears from behind the stalls, tall, broad-shouldered, and angry. "Can I help you?" he snaps. His tone makes it clear he already knows who she is. Amy stays calm. "I'm just visiting," she replies, but her eyes don't leave Phoenix. The man narrows his gaze. "This is private property. You shouldn't be here." Nathan steps forward, sensing the tension. "We were just leaving," he says, quickly. He guides Amy back toward the exit, but not before she catches a final look at Phoenix's worn-out stance, the slight limp in his hind leg, the dullness in his coat. He's not the same horse she once knew. Back in the truck, Amy is silent. Nathan doesn't push, but he can tell what she's thinking. Someone has to stop this man before Phoenix is pushed too far. But that night, when Amy returns home, she finds an envelope taped to her door. Inside is a single photo, of her standing next to Phoenix earlier that day, taken from a distance. Scrawled across the bottom are 4 words: "You shouldn't have come." Sleep doesn't come easy that night. Amy lies awake, staring at the photo over and over again, the words echoing in her head. You shouldn't have come. It's not just a threat, it's a warning. Someone wants her to back off, but if anything, that only fuels her determination. Whoever's doing this doesn't just want to hide what's happening to Phoenix. They want to keep Amy far away from the truth. And Amy Fleming has never been the type to walk away from what's right. The next morning, Heartland feels off. Even the horses seem restless, pacing more than usual. Jack notices Amy's distracted look and asks what's wrong, but she brushes it off. She doesn't want to worry him. Not yet. But Lou sees the photo tucked halfway under a file on Amy's desk later that day. Her eyes widen when she reads the message. Amy, this isn't just about a horse anymore. Someone's following you. Amy nods. I know, and I think it's connected to more than Phoenix. Lou frowns. You mean the new buyer? The one who doesn't exist? Amy hesitates, then pulls out a printout of the ownership document. Evan Ross, she says quietly. I checked the signature against old paperwork. It's forged. Someone used his name to cover up the real buyer. But there's one more thing. See this stamp? She points to a faded logo near the bottom corner. That's from a company that used to sponsor Ty's veterinary outreach project back before the accident. Lou's face pales. You think this has something to do with Ty's old research program? I don't know, Amy admits, but it can't be a coincidence. Meanwhile, Georgie returns home unexpectedly after hearing about Amy's visit to Calgary. She's been training in Europe but couldn't ignore the messages Nathan sent her. The moment she sees Amy, she can tell something's wrong. You're in danger, Georgie says bluntly. Nathan said someone's watching the ranch. Amy shakes her head. I'm fine. No, you're not, Georgie insists. You think whoever sent that photo will just stop now? They won't. You've already seen too much. Jack overhears the conversation and steps in. If someone's threatening my family, they'll regret it, he growls. His old cowboy instincts kick in, and he promises to keep the ranch under close watch. But Amy knows that whatever this is, it's bigger than one person's anger. It's something that reaches beyond Heartland. Later that evening, Amy and Nathan meet at Maggie's cafe to go through the photos they took at the training center. Most of them look harmless. Horses, riders, staff. But one shot stands out. In the background, partially blurred, there's a banner with a familiar emblem. A white stallion, rearing on a golden field. Amy's stomach twists when she realizes where she's seen it before. It's the same symbol Ty once found on confidential research files linked to a pharmaceutical company testing performance enhancers on competition horses. Nathan frowns. You think they're back? Amy nods slowly, and they're using horses like Phoenix to test their new formula. The idea sickens her. Heartland has always been about trust between horse and human, about healing. The thought that someone is turning that trust into cruelty is unbearable. But if that's true, then exposing it won't be easy. These people have power, connections, and no reason to play fair. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Lou's expansion deal begins to intertwine with Amy's discovery in ways no one expected. When the investors send updated contracts, Lou notices one of the corporate partners is Silver Ridge Industries, the same company whose logo appeared on the document Amy showed her earlier. Suddenly, Lou realizes she's been negotiating with the very people trying to silence her sister. She rushes to find Amy, But by the time she reaches the barn,